Use a pick or use multiple picks. Time will tell. Brooks Koepka, it looks like, is going to qualify on points and be welcomed onto the team. There is a case to be made for Dustin Johnson, Taylor Gooch, Patrick Reed, and Bryson DeChambeau based on their play this year and based on their past history, including Dustin Johnson going 5-0 at the last one at Whistling Straits with an overall winning Ryder Cup record. Zach Johnson is a wonderful human being who lives his life always trying to do the right thing, and the right thing here is a little murky as he's tasked with fielding the best team he can possibly field. I know there's a case for those guys. I don't know if he'll pick any of them, one of them or more of them, but I think in the overall scheme of things, if from a LIV golf standpoint, from my personal opinion standpoint, if the job is to field the best team and ignore the noise and ignore the politics and ignore the external pressures, one or two or three of those guys should be picked. That's not my job, that's Zach's, and he'll make the right decision and be convinced when he does it, he's making it for the right reasons, I can promise you. From the European side, it's a completely different story as they have eliminated and basically forced all European members of LIV Golf to resign their memberships, making them ineligible for the Ryder Cup. But I did talk to one European stalwart from the Ryder Cup days past, and he said if Sergio Garcia and Ian Poulter aren't in that team room, the inspirational and motivational turbochargers from what is the Ryder Cups gone past, that would be a mistake by Luke Donald. Luke Donald, though, he's been on a lot of winning teams with both those players and has a lot of great experience. But the inspirational leaders are really something that can't be discounted in that team format. Yeah, Luke Donald played on 5 sides, and I hope, well, first of all, you know, Henrik Stenson should be captain. Right. You know, let's not forget that. He was disqualified because of his involvement with LIV. But the presence in the team room is a huge thing. You want a Sergio Garcia, you want an Ian Poulter there, even if they're not on the side. You know, as assistant captains, you know, they really should be picked. You know, from the American side, you know, guys like Payne Stewart and Phil Mickelson, you know, a tremendous presence in the team room and really made a difference. And one of your greatest memories was playing against Payne, wasn't it? Yeah, in '91. Yeah, I was 4 up with 4 to play and lost 2 holes in a row and was in full panic mode. Full panic at the 17th at Kiowa Island, and the crowd control had broken down, and I'm trying to make my way onto the tee, and a big marshal comes out and pokes me in the chest with a quiet please sign. Says, where do you think you're going? Like I was a heavily disguised spectator, you know. So, you know, I was about to explode, lose my mind, and this arm came around my shoulder, and Payne just put his face right on mine, and I can still smell the plug of Red Man that he had in there, you know, and he's got that stupid choir boy grin that he had, and he said, ma'am, he said, I'd love you to keep this a-hole right here, but he's playing against me. And he just swept me up onto the tee in his arm, and, you know, I managed to win it from there. But that's who he was. We just saw Patrick Reed there. I mean, he's both the protagonist and antagonist in the biennial matches when he has played, depending on which side your loyalty lies upon. Captain America playing some great golf. Taylor Gooch, any player would want them as their partner in 4-ball or foursome and not want to play against him in singles. And Bryson, the way he can dismantle and intimidate the competition with the way he's played.
And by virtue of the way that both dynamics work for the European team and the US team, the US can gain an innate advantage because they have free rein to pick whoever they like. It's Luke Donald who is hamstrung by the fact that the DP Tour have stakeholders in the European team.
But we have to be certain
by
that
not
it's a rock.
selecting any of the American players, it's almost giving up what could be a key advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. Europe is pretty well stacked at the top, front-loaded, if you will. They're in pretty good shape. Team US is not going to be terrible, no matter who Zach picks to fill that 6-person remaining spots. They're not going to be terrible at all, but I don't know. I think, you know, with the framework agreement hopefully coming into fruition, at least the announcement being made, and some of the ill will being tried to be buried in the past, I just think for the good of the game, for the good of the fans, I know we give them so much lip service, and so often the decisions aren't made based upon their best interests. But for the good of the fans, I just think it's time. It might, you know, I think probably in the political climate, it's going to be proven to be a little early, but I just think it's time.
So your gut feel knowing the characters involved, is that Zach Johnson will not pick a
Well,
golf player as a wild card.
You know, the part, and I was going to say it in that piece, the part that concerns me is Zach Johnson in published interviews, as well as his vice captain, assistant captain, Davis Love III, are kind of saying things that make you think that they don't think LIV golf matters. Folks, anybody who's been to one of these events, anybody who's seen how our players have performed in the majors validates wholeheartedly that LIV golf matters and that this is real golf.
You know, the bottom line is it's the best event in golf, and it deserves the two best teams.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, for the fans, we're in the entertainment industry here.
They've got a lot of publicity on a recent debate amongst Brad Faxon on Golf Channel, and I think he said it best. It's not about tour, it's about country.
Yeah.
Now, Phil Mickelson in the deep rough here, and I don't think he'll be going over the water. He's not really sure how the ball's going to come out. I totally agree with you, Jerry. And David, I think the Ryder Cup deserves better. Oh, that's got to go. Oh, it's dry.
Yeah. There will be those who say, of course we're going to say that and think that because we're associated with LIV golf. But I think it's deeper than that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been going on since 1927. It's the biggest event in our game, and we all love it. And it is country v country. It's never been tour versus tour.
Yeah, I love Bryson's reaction. You know, he said, I would love to play. Of course, I would love to play for Team America. But if I don't get that call, I'll be watching that television and cheering on USA. And like you guys have said over and over again, it's about that.